Hi, everyone. Thank y'all for joining us for our Beef Brunch News Update for Tuesday, April 28th. I'm going to give an apology and disclaimer ahead of time. There's things going on outside of my office. They're working on the internet. So, one, if my internet cuts out, or two, if you hear any loud noises in the background, I'm sorry for that. Trip has called in with us, so we're going to go ahead and let Trip kick us off for this update.
Hey, everybody. Thank y'all very much for having me again on this Beef Brunch News Update. The word for Northeast Louisiana is still dry, but there has been some improvement. I did see, since the last time we recorded, a graphic that was put out by Jared Floyd, one of our local meteorologists. And the graphic dictated or showed that from the time period of March to May, historically, the driest we've ever been through that period, we received around 6 inches of rain. And at this point in that same period, we're sitting at just under 3 inches. So we've received about half the amount of spring rainfall that our historic low was. But so just saying that to say we are still historically dry in the Northeast region, but we did get a pretty good rain this past Saturday that is definitely helping turn things around. We're a long ways from being recharged. We're a long ways from being where we need to be, but man, it sure does feel different today than it did last Monday. So things are somewhat improving across the region, especially if we can get a few of these rains that they're predicting over the next several days. Hay season 2026 has officially kicked off in Northeast Louisiana. There's been a good bit of ground that has been cut and wrapped. There's been a good bit of ground that's been cut and picked up for dry hay. And it's across the region. There's been some ground in southern Franklin Parish I know of, harvested, a lot of ground in Union Parish up this way. So it's underway. But to highlight the impact this prolonged period of drought has had, one of the producers I work with here in Union Parish just got done with their first round of harvest, and they normally roll up 2,000 rolls of baleage for their first round, and this year they picked up 500. So you're starting the year off with a 1,500 bale deficit, and also the hay that you did get picked up is going to be lower in quality, not only lower quantity, but lower in quality than they're accustomed to. So producers are already starting to scramble and figure out what they're going to do to make up that shortfall. And guys, I mean, hay season hadn't even got started off, and we got people that are just mathematically behind the barrel and trying to figure out what they're going to do. One thing I recommend for all our producers to be doing is taking stock of the hay that you have carried over from past years, making sure that it's housed somewhere that's not going to be sitting in a mud hole and degrading worse than it absolutely has to. And it's kind of be getting a baseline figured out of where you're at and what you need to make a winter on. So how many more bales do you need to make the winter on, and be sourcing those as soon as you can. You know, some years you can drag your feet and wait to secure your year's worth of hay and not worry about it. You know, last year we got plenty of hay around. It wasn't that big of a deal, but this year I do recommend you be trying to source that hay as soon as you possibly can. So that is pretty well the wrap up for Northeast Louisiana. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Dr. Edwards.
Thank you, sir. I feel like dry is probably going to be the theme. What Jay Grimes sent out as of April 21st, I was pulling it up because I couldn't remember the percentages, but nearly 94% of the state is in drought. Over half the state is rated as extreme drought, which is D3. And so it's rough. Vince, Brittany, and I were talking before we got on here, and I know quite a few thunderstorms rolled through the north part of the state. Friday night and Saturday night woke me up at the house, both nights, which is saying a lot because I was sleeping pretty hard. So we'll have varying amounts of rainfall through the state, but like Tripp said, it's not enough to pull us out of that drought. I did go through while Tripp was doing his report, and I'm going to link a drought preparation fact sheet that Dr. Mateus and I put together last year. So that's on there. Like Tripp said, we need to go ahead and start gearing up, start calculating what you're going to need. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll link a webinar as well, calculating how much hay you're going to end up needing and how to calculate your supplemental feed costs. But again, reach out to us and we can help you prepare for that as well. Brittany, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
I almost started talking and forgot to unmute my microphone, but crisis averted. So I just want to start out this week just by saying thank you to everyone who had a part in helping put on our BQA certification event last week. We had that in Pine Prairie over in Evangeline Parish. So Ashley was there to teach, Dr. Grant Fontenot. Tom Ardwin was the producer who hosted us, and just a slew of others who helped out there, whether it was preparing our meal, providing our drinks, just anything. We had a great turnout for that event. We had over 50 people that attended that, and it was just a really great event. I've heard really positive feedback from everyone, and it was just we had 7 parishes, I believe, that all attended that event. So again, I just wanted to put my thank yous out there to all that attended that and then helped, with the planning and execution of that and making that event a success. So just, as Ashley alerted to, with the drought conditions, we are still, of course, pretty dry here. The rain, as we were just talking about beforehand, has been kind of spotty in different places. In Opelousas here, I believe, and maybe it was Friday night sometime or so, there was a little over an inch of rain in the Opelousas area, and then some areas may not have gotten any rain. I know I had gone to Baton Rouge this weekend, and we caught a little bit of rain on the way back on Sunday, I believe. So it was very just kind of spotty, hit or miss with those showers. But it looks like we have some more chances starting Wednesday and into the weekend that we might see a little bit more rain there. I have been talking to a few producers who were just baling their ryegrass to just kind of get that off to give their warm season grasses a chance to grow. And I've heard different things from different people, but kind of to just agree with what Tripp said there. Yield has been down, and some people may have lost some money in planting and baling and planting their ryegrass and baling hay off of it this year, which is something that's hard to predict. We can't predict the weather and we can't control it either. So it's a risk, unfortunately, that you take. But hopefully those producers who may have had a financial loss there can help to make that up with the high market prices that we're still seeing. And then of course, we're still keeping an eye on the New World screwworm situation and whatnot. I know Dr. Guidry put out his newsletter recently just with his cattle market updates and whatnot, where he talked about several different factors that will be influencing the market. And just it's kind of dependent on a lot of things that'll be happening here soon. So I believe that should be on our website as well. If not, I know we've got it in our emails, and we'd be happy to send it out if anybody wants to read a little bit more into that newsletter. And then just to touch on a few, I know some calls this time of year, we've started to get some calls about some weed control and whatnot. One of the things that has been coming up for me that I've been hearing is just people wanting to control smut grass. So just with smut grass, the product that we recommend for that is Velpar. And just one of the things to remember about Velpar is that it's not a contact herbicide like many of the others out there. It's goes through root uptake, right? It's activated through the soil and root uptake, and you need water for that. So Dr. Strahan always says the best thing you could do is spray it when it's already raining, because it's definitely such a risk. If you were to spray smut grass there and not get rain, you would end up wasting a good bit of product there. So that was just one of the calls I'm getting. I know we have some other weed issues that come up from time to time, and if y'all are struggling with some different things and we're looking for some options for what you can do to control those weeds, just reach out to any of us or your local agent in your area, and we can help you out there. I believe that's all I have for now, and I'll turn it back over to you, Ashley.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to you, Vince.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me again this week or this Beef Brunch series. I concur with all the issues that Tripp talked about and the things that Brittany has mentioned. It's Brittany and I live basically in the same parish and work the same area, so concur with her report. It is super dry, and the rains that came through that Dr. Edwards described on Friday night into Saturday morning, and another round came through on Saturday night into Sunday morning, and just kind of scathed the northeast part of the state, central north central and northeast part of the state, and down to the Boot area, to Concordia, north of Boyles, and into the parishes above Baton Rouge and Amite and Covington and that area. And that was some extremely dry areas, though we're all dealing with some level of droughtiness. That was somewhat of a relief to that area. So hopefully we get some widespread rains as they're predicting starting Wednesday. And the forecast I saw that Dr. Grimes sent out earlier today was not a deluge of events. It was going to be some sporadic rains Wednesday, Thursday, probably the biggest rain day on Friday, according to his forecast, with an accumulation of 2 to 3 inches in the north part of the state, 1 to 2 inches in central, and less as it goes south. Hard to imagine where we're located, roughly about 75 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. We're in April, and people in South Louisiana are feeding hay right now. So it goes unheard of. We talked about, before coming on to this recording, the 2011 drought. I was describing a situation that we had here in the state. We had a river flood event in 2011 where the Morganza Spillway was open to relieve the Mississippi River, and a drought all at once. And I had a desk folder and file of people needing hay in Texas and Oklahoma from Louisiana, and we had none to be made. So we were faced with sure tragedy then, and a desperate need for hay then, as well as it looks like we might be faced with again this year. So some of the stats that Tripp talked about, some record drought years, was 1987 was probably the lowest rainfall event for the month of April in this area, for less than 5 inches of rain in the month of April, which is unheard of for central Louisiana. And I think we're right about at that mark right now currently. So it's getting critical. The drought monitor indicates that, as Dr. Edwards said, more than 90% of the state is in some stage of drought. If we don't get these somewhat of a drought busting rain, it's not only for our cattle pastures and forages moving forward. Our crops are going to begin to suffer at high fuel cost of, the farmers having to flood irrigate some crop, especially in our country, the rice country. Wake up to running wells across the countryside every morning and think about what the enduring cost is of that. So be mindful of that. We have a lot of soybeans being planted right now, and I think they're getting most of them planted and the moisture is adequate. But we definitely need the rains to keep those crops and those farmers viable through this growing season. So we hope that the rains come and we get our pastures and forages up and going. It's really difficult, as Brittany alluded to, some of the herbicide requests that we're getting in the terms of smudgrass and the use of Velpar and all of the other weeds that we got coming off of the wintertime. We're seeing some spring annual weeds that are already going to seed. So when we get into droughty conditions or severe enough conditions, things prematurely seed in some cases. So you get an influx of seed bank as we move into the years to come. So, but it really does no good to make those applications and make that expense without some viable growing weed situations where we have a good manageable control of them. Some of them are too far gone to get some management control over them. So let your bush hog be your friend. Try to keep those weed situations from seeding out. We get into the hay season. Basic grass is a troublesome weed in our hay fields, but that's largely due to not applying adequate lime to keep our pHs corrected, and also the use of potash. Some of our Bermuda fields that are kind of starving, if you would, from the adequate nutrition from fertilization. We tend to see a lot of producers will put out a bomb shot of complete fertilizer at the beginning of the season to get that hay field off and going. But we need to remember that we've taken off about 60 plus units or pounds of potash every time we leave with a cutting of hay. So you're depleting at least 100 pounds to the acre each cutting. So it's recommended, and I've experienced it, not only from a practical standpoint and what I see producers going through, But from a personal standpoint, if you're not applying the right amount of nutrition, you're stabbing yourself in the foot because you're not going to get the regrowth that you need. Our Bermuda fields are a lot like our cane fields. We leave a lot of nutrient tie-up in the stalk. We need stalks to produce leaves. If you don't have the stalks, you're not producing leaves. So the weeds have a chance to encroach and grow through those barren areas of your hay fields. So be aware of that. If you're not going to apply the proper nutrition, keep those weedy species from seeding and creating a seed bank moving forward. It's going to be a tough go until we get a drought busting rain, but hopefully that's coming here shortly this week. It's definitely we're behind the 8 ball in all areas right now to a certain degree. Problems in the crops, problems with cattle pastures and forage production. So good luck to everyone. Hope we get that drought buster.
Thank you, Vince. Now, as y'all can see, Lee is not on with us today. He had meetings all day. So we will be missing the market report. But moving into the events this Thursday, April 30th is our Northwest Beef and Forage Field Day. Y'all heard Lee and I talk about that. Registration starts at 8:30. It is at the Hill Farm Research Station there in Homer. Bradley Pousson is putting on a Marketing Your Cattle workshop series. So it's 4 short workshops. Those dates are May 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th at the Calcasieu Extension Office. Those go from 5 to 7 each of those evenings. So I've got Bradley's email here. You can contact him to RSVP and get more information on that. We mentioned the Tri-Parish Livestock and Forage Field Day that Camille Brady has at Bordelon Ranch in Raceland on May 7th. That will begin at 3 p.m. Again, please RSVP for that, and her contact information is here. Josh Salley's hosting a DeSoto Parish Field Day on May 15th. That's a Friday. Reach out to him for that contact or for that start time and information. A new event on the list is a livestock biosecurity planning workshop that Camille is going to be hosting with Dr. Navarre on May 20th at 6 p.m. at the Raceland Ag Building. Again, please RSVP with Camille. We've got the number for the Lafourche Parish Extension Office listed there, as well as her email, and you can RSVP to either of those. And then again, June 11th, keep that on your radar for the Hay Day at Dodson Ranch in Coushatta. And I think that's all that we have for y'all today. Again, please, 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 we hate to bring any kind of bad news, but go ahead and start preparing for worst case scenarios moving forward with potential drought. Pray for rain. Hopefully we do get that, but always prepare for the worst. So reach out to your extension agent, reach out to us. I've linked a few of the resources that we have for that, but if you need more information, and if we don't have it, we'll be happy to find it for you. And with that, we'll be back again in a couple of weeks.